Oh, hey. Wondering what I'm up to, hey? Reduce, reuse, recycle. I know, I just got a whole bunch of thumbs up for that one. They worked in 2022. I think they'll work again this time. But this time, they're going to get me a seat on city council. And that's because you folks have had enough. You really have had enough. I know I've had enough. I've seen my property tax bill, and I'm not in some ritzy neighborhood. I'm in the heritage area. I'm in a working class home, just like 90% of the folks in Prince George. So I have to try and make ends meet too. So that means I recycle the existing signs I have while I'm waiting for the other new signs to come in, which are exactly the same as this. Here's the deal. I've been looking at the other candidates' websites and or lack thereof. They know who they are. They know whether their website is up and what their platform pillars are, and or even if they have a platform. That's all I've seen so far is regurgitated talking points that I won't touch because, well, I'm not out to waste your time. I'm out to get a seat in city council, which means I'm going to give you information, and with that information you're going to have the ability to find out what we're responsible for as a city, and also who we hold accountable for specific things within the city. We've gone probably 8 years now with not receiving the level of service that we need. And I'm not just talking about downtown, I'm talking about throughout the community, throughout Greater Prince George. Everything's slid downhill. And I'm not going to use fancy politically correct phrases. I'm just going to come out and say the homeless and the addicted are dwindling out of the downtown core and now working their way into private neighborhoods. That's a problem. We haven't got enough RCMP to address it. And we sure don't have the support of the federal government with the criminal code to address it. Because they've taken the teeth out of the criminal code. You don't get anything for free. You got to work for it. And if you think you can just belly up and get something for free, I got news for you. That only lasts for so long. So you, me, families with children, seniors. Oh, the seniors, you guys know all about it. You know how it can be, unless there's a great pension plan or something. Bills can get tight. And the ever increasing property taxes, it doesn't help any. You don't bring more taxes into a municipality by jacking up the rates. What you do is you start getting out of the road. You allow economic development. You allow new businesses to come in. You have to entertain the possibilities of more employment, and through more employment, more tax people, more taxation, spread over more people, not pushing more taxes onto a select few that can afford to pay it. That's not how the city works. We got to get the city back to the core basics. And that's utilities, water, sewer, garbage, police, fire, and yes, roads. There's a few of you that have been paying taxes for road fees and everything else, and your road looks like hell. And it does. I'm not gonna candy coat it. You'd be surprised if you'd seen a city truck out there doing anything to fix the potholes. But, however, there's a select body within the city that thinks it's important that we spend money on a $250,000 Zamboni, an electric Zamboni. We already have Zambonis, by the way, in case you didn't know, that are working just fine. But no, it's so that we can one-up Kamloops, because Kamloops has an electric Zamboni, so we've got to have one too. This is the petty spending that, when I hear about it, I can be frank about it, it pisses me off. These people that we're paying large paychecks to can't understand what being fiscally responsible is about. These are signs from 2022. I'm reusing them. Why? It's fiscally responsible and the message hasn't changed. We still need change in Prince George. Why am I coating them with paste wax? It makes them durable. They can handle the rain and the weather, and they'll last. I sound like a broken record, and I don't mean to be, but I've watched and sat through way too many council meetings where there wasn't a possibility of changing the direction we're on, and it fell on deaf ears. This last budget was a joke. Instead of doing what a responsible councillor should have done, they didn't do it. A couple of councillors pushed against it, but still, nothing was done. Oh, what do? They screw around every year with the snow removal budget. Guess what? It snows here. Leave the snow removal budget alone. You need money, open a lemonade stand, or do something else, or cut the budget on something else that's wasteful, like $1 million roundabouts that we don't need. Yeah, something like that. It's called fiscal responsibility. We have to separate the wants from the needs. We need our infrastructure maintained properly and reassessed. That hasn't been done. Oh, we're gonna charge you for your stormwater, because that's a quick way to make money. Now, how about you stop with the stupidity taxation and you turn around and get back to the core services you were responsible for by your legislation. That's sewer, water, roads, police, and fire, and permitting. That's what you got to get back to. Not dragging your heels, playing games. Oh, we could have a stormwater tax. Okay, all right. That's like turning around and putting on a carbon tax. You know, I used to have trees across the street from me. I went over and looked at the trees. There's nowhere to put in $20 for fresh air. So the carbon tax is just a line of BS. It's just another avenue for government to make money and then not explain where they're blowing it. Same thing civically. We waste money on some of the stupidest things. We had meetings about the crime. And instead of having the meetings in the council chamber and televising it, no, we had to use the civic center, and then we had to have a facilitator come from out of town to run the meeting. Well, that cost us about, I think it was about $5,000 or $6,000 just for that individual to come up and run a meeting. Damn, we get that kind of money. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. So I'm running for city council because somebody needs to get in there and say, wait a minute, where does this make sense? Because I can promise you, the current individuals in council, some of them, they're not doing that. We get a couple, and I'm going to call them out. Trudy Clausen and Brian Skaken have time and again in this last administration voiced a concern about cost overruns and other issues. And every time they try to table something to address an issue, it gets sidelined by the six. You can guess who the six are. You know who's sitting on council. So I challenge the incumbents to turn around and be bold and stand up and say exactly what they're going to do if they want to get reelected. Because they sure as heck haven't done much. And referring stuff back to administration time and again for a report, which is filtered and doctored so administration can do what it wants to do, that's not the way to do it. So, you got a chance October 17th to turn around and vote in some people who actually give a damn and actually have a platform and a mutual understanding of what 4 pillars need to be addressed in Prince George. We have to address the core problems first. You buy a house that has a crappy foundation, you gotta fix that foundation before you do any renovations up top. We can pretty stuff up top later. We gotta get down to the base, fix the core issues, and cut the excessive spending on vanity projects. And yes, I'm gonna call it a roundabout is a vanity project. It's not serving anybody any good. Oh, it's increasing the traffic flow. Not right. Yes, sure. But the road that's there now is perfectly fine. But we want to rip it up and waste a bunch of money that we don't have to rebuild a road. That doesn't make much sense. You want roundabouts, you plan an area with a roundabout already built into it, not taking an existing area and screwing the traffic pattern up for shits and giggles because, ooh, it looks good for city administration. Now, we got some people working within the city, a lot of really good people. We're talking our unionized employees, we're talking the crew working out of 18th, we're talking in the office. We have some fantastic people. I'm not after them. I'm not after their jobs. I want them to keep their jobs. I'm after the 6-figure individuals who time and again always manage to come up with an overly expensive way to resolve a problem. And they love consultants. Consultants are the ace in the hole for city administration because consultants can come out and say the ugly bit and the city has plausible deniability. Oh, we didn't know it was that bad. Yeah, okay. I'm tired. But I'm not giving up. I'm going to push because there's people that are counting on me. There's little businesses that are counting on me. You are counting on me. Even though you might not know it right now. I'm talking common sense, not political prose and not fancy speak. I'm shooting straight from the hip and telling you. You know, you see that envelope from the city show up, you open it up and you think, oh my God, how much more do I have to bleed before, I'm able to get ahead? We got 3 levels of government that have gone pretty much out of their way to screw us over. And they, all 3, have failed to remember one point. There's only one taxpayer. It's you and I. So the feds tax us, the province taxes us, the province fights not to give us what we need, and then the city turns around and wants to blow money on, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to come out and say it, stupidity. It's just stupid. If I can get across town in a reasonable amount of time without having to fix my flat tires, then I guess I'm winning. I love Prince George. It's just, we are currently being mismanaged. And we're not being mismanaged by council. We're being mismanaged by city administration. Too much power given to one individual who is actually just an employee. Okay? Seriously, that's the way it works. So, when you were at work, when was the last time you turned around and told your boss, this is what the boss is going to do? And the boss just stood there and nodded. Never, never. But that's the way it works with city council. An employee walks in, tells council, this is what we're going to do, and these are the reasons we're going to do it. And the cast behind Horseshoe just sit there and nod and go, okay, and they go ahead and do it. That's not what they were elected to do. It's not what they were elected to do. And they like to blow sunshine, telling you, oh, I did this in the last 4 years, and I did that in the last 4 years. And no, they didn't. No, they didn't. It's a shame. We can do better, Prince George. We can definitely do better. Because you want to talk about sustainability? This is unsustainable. So, October 17th, go to the website, https://www.zukowski.city. Look at the platform, look at the website, look at the information. I'm giving you straight goods. I'm not sending you off to listen to needless BS. Everything on there is the legislation that the city must operate under. So, give me a shout if you want to chat, or I could sure use, donations. I don't want you turning your pockets inside out. I know the economy is tight for a lot of people, and I know the people I'm speaking to, and they know they're nodding right now as they're listening to this. $20, man. $20. This is the way it should work. $20 from a half dozen people is great help moving forward. I've got to be able to get the word out. I've got to try and educate people before October 17th that some of the choices out there are a little less than Emily Post. A lot of flash in the pan with no substance. So, and there's been some people saying, oh, let's call for a clean slate. Well, I don't want to offend them, but I'm going to. That's a stupid move. We have some people on council that are more than capable of doing the job. What they need is they need support. They need another voice at the Horseshoe to back up their initiatives, to back up their plans, and when need be, to turn around and question what administration is offering as food for thought. So if you're tired of playing games and you're tired of paying your excessive property tax year after year and feeling like you're getting less and less for it, October 17th, you got no excuse not to get out to the polls and vote. And be smarter with your vote, because who you vote in, we're going to have to work with them for the next 4 years, or put up with them for the next 4 years. We don't have the power of recall. So, vote wisely. I'm John Zukowski, and I approve this message.